Good day, everybody. It's Kelvin Shaw here with another Business Growth Moment interview. And I am super excited because I have executive coach and consultant David Booker, who is a co author to this outstanding book here, 7 Steps to Supercharging Your Career. And we're going to share some great insights in here in a short amount of time. So, David, thanks so much for being on the call and thank you for joining me today.
More than happy to do that, Kelvin, and it's great to see you again after probably a decade that we've known each other. So really happy to be here.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know, I worked for David, with David at probably my first career job at Learning Tree International many, many years ago. He was the COO at the time there, and one man that I've looked up to in terms of business for many, many years. So let's jump right into this. We're going to talk about the expert insights on moving up quickly into your career. And I know, David, I would consider you to be a top-notch expert in this area. So my first thought centered around this is in regards to growing my career, what are some of the keys or insights that you would share with us to help us reach that career potential or fulfill that career potential? What's your advice on that?
So it's a great and very broad question, that, Kelvin. And it's a question that I asked myself many years ago. And I've been studying it ever since. And I suspect I'll be studying it for the rest of my life. And I'm going to give what I would consider 4 keys to career success.
Okay.
The first key is self-awareness and responsibility. So in order for any of us to get on in our career, we really have to understand who we are and what comprises our character.
Right.
And we have to take responsibility for everything in our life. So that's the first step, self-awareness and responsibility. The next step is I've noticed people who are successful have either a passion for what they're doing or a driving need. And it doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be both, or it could be one of them. So by passion, it means that you've got a real fire burning inside you to achieve some form of objective.
Right.
Or by need, which is more common actually, a need, I need to put food on the table. I need to earn a certain amount of money, or I need to receive a certain amount of responsibility. There's a driving need within you. So that's the second step. The third step is study and action. Successful people are continually studying the field that they're in, and they're studying broader areas as well. But the key here is action from that study. I know a lot of people that study, a lot, but they don't actually put into action what they studied. So acting on what you've learned is the third step.
Right.
And the fourth step is process. Process meaning a conscious, deliberate approach to developing your career. Right. I would say that most people get stuck in their career because they don't really know where they want to go, and therefore they are in reaction mode. If you have a clear understanding of where you want to go and you put in some form of personal process in order to get to where you want to go, you will significantly cut down the amount of time it takes you to get there. So I'll conclude that piece, Kelvin, with saying that was the driving reason for writing the book that Dr. Sharon Latovsky and I put together a few years ago. We created what we call the career acceleration process.
Right.
The objective of that was to help people identify what are the key things that I need to do to progress my career quickly. And that's the process part of the 4 steps I just mentioned.
Right. No, that's extremely powerful, and I want to get into that. I think you coined it as CAP, the career acceleration process. But it's true. In speaking to people all the time and helping them increase the capacity in their career, one of the things that I often come across is, how do I do this quickly, or how can I accelerate this? Obviously, there's different stages and there's time that has to come in with all these stages. But can you you spoke to it. Can you clearly define what the career acceleration process is and how it's applicable to someone's life for them to truly accelerate all these different stages of the process.
Yes, absolutely. The first and most important part, as again mentioned in the first 4 steps that I shared with you, is understanding who you are, what drives you, what your character is, what stresses you. But in that process, it's setting, if you like, an end goal. Do you want to be the head of an operation? Do you want to be head of sales? Do you want to be functioning in a more general role? Whatever the role is, in order for you to clearly identify the steps you need to take, it's good to know where you want to get to, even if that get to goal isn't the end of your career. It might be 3 years, it might be a 5-year end goal. Then you can decide, which steps do I need to take? Do I need to focus on my communication skills? Do I need to focus on my technical skills? So it all really begins with, if you like, meet yourself in 5 years' time and ask yourself the question, what is it you do? How do you do it? Why are you so confident? Are you enjoying what you're doing? The answers that you get to that question will put you in a direction. Once you've got the direction, it's not that difficult to identify the skills, the competencies that you'll need to quickly progress.
Right. Now that's powerful, and it gives a clear roadmap that I can look out. Sometimes we think about it from the perspective, let me look out 10, 15, 20 years from now. But what you're saying, look at that next goal and then work yourself backwards, and each stage you will progress further. I have one more question, and David, I wish we can spend all day doing this, but when it comes to that, a lot of times a hurdle is say I'm reading this book, I understand that I need to set a goal. I want to go from, say, an individual contributor type of role to more of a leadership role. One of the hurdles that I've heard about or found is that there is that recognition. Maybe you're doing all the steps to get where you need to go, but your leaders aren't recognizing you, or they're not seeing the same value that you're seeing. Is there any advice that you would give to help you stand out maybe from others, or stand out in a way that others can see what you're seeing in yourself in an organization?
Yes, first of all, I should say there, Kelvin, the person that needs the recognition of what you're doing is yourself. Recognizing it yourself is far more important. Good leaders, good managers will see what you're doing. So recognize it yourself. However, to the point that you raised, there is no harm in actually bringing forward suggestions, ideas, and smart questions about what you've been doing. So if you're my manager and I come to you, Kelvin, and I say to you, I've been working on this project or that project, and I have these questions for you, you're raising the awareness to what you have been doing, particularly beyond your scope of responsibility. So you're stepping forward. If you raise questions about those projects, then your leader, your manager, will not only be able to give you feedback, but they'll recognize David is doing something different here.
Yeah, right. No, that's extremely important, and I love it. You first have to convince yourself before convincing others, and I think in saying that, David, when you do convince yourself, these seem to be some of the natural things that you will be doing in terms of showing value to the larger organization or your direct manager, because you're so passionate and you're aware of where you're going.
Yes, show value to yourself, Kelvin. If you prove that you are valuable to yourself, it will increase your confidence level, increase your productivity, and providing what you're trying to do is for the good of others, it will absolutely pay dividends.
Excellent, excellent. Well, David, we have about 1 minute here. So first of all, I want to thank you for joining me to share this insight. I know a lot of the listeners are looking to advance in their business and career. So if they ever want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you? Obviously, I'm going to put the link to buy this book on Amazon below, and I'm going to be speaking about this book a little bit more in future episodes. But what's the best way to get in touch with you if somebody wants to increase the capacity of their business or career?
Yeah, I think the best way, Kelvin, is through LinkedIn.
Okay.
I have to say, I'm happy to say, I'm super busy. However, I'm always willing to share where I can. So if anybody out there wishes to connect with me, I absolutely would be happy to respond.
Excellent. Well, David, thank you so much for joining me on the Business Growth Moments interview. I'm going to ask you maybe another time we can do this again, further deep diving on this subject, but I really appreciate all your insights over the years and also in this. And thank you for all you that have been watching this. If you like this, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and we'll be back with another Business Growth Moments next month.
Thank you, Kelvin. It was great to be on this show. Thank you.
Thank you.